there's a good chance you're missing the signs that your dog is stressed. Dogs don't exactly come with an instruction manual, and the way they express stress is often subtle or completely misunderstood. If you're only looking for the obvious signs like barking or whining, you're probably missing the bigger picture. Let's dive into some overlooked stress signals and what they really mean. First, let's start with one of the most misunderstood signals: yawning. No, your dog isn't just tired or bored. A study from the University of Veterinary Medicine in Vienna found that yawning in dogs can be a stress response, especially in unfamiliar situations. So if your dog starts yawning during a vet visit or when guests arrive, it might mean they're feeling anxious and overwhelmed, not sleepy. Another overlooked signal is lip licking. This is not the same as licking their chops after a meal. Lip licking in dogs often happens when they're feeling uneasy or stressed, like during a scolding or when meeting another dog for the first time. It's subtle, but it's their way of saying, "I'm not comfortable right now." Now, here's one you've probably seen but didn't think much about: turning their head away. This is called an appeasement gesture. Dogs will often do this to diffuse tension or avoid confrontation. For example, if someone they don't know gets too close, they might turn their head to the side as if to say, "I'm no threat. Please give me space." It's a quiet but powerful signal that often gets overlooked. Let's not forget about panting. While it's normal for dogs to pant after exercise, excessive panting in calm situations can indicate stress. A study published in Applied Animal Behavior Science found that panting is one of the most common physiological responses to stress in dogs. If your dog starts panting heavily during a thunderstorm or when they're in an unfamiliar place, it's a clear sign they're feeling anxious. But here's a controversial one: shaking off. Most people assume dogs only shake off water, but they also do it after a stressful or intense moment. For example, after an uncomfortable interaction with another dog or a tense moment during training, your dog might shake their body as if they're trying to reset themselves emotionally. Some experts believe this is a way for dogs to release tension and regain balance, but others argue it's simply a reflexive behavior. Either way, it's worth paying attention to. Here's another big one that flies under the radar: slow movements. If your dog suddenly starts moving in slow motion or freezes altogether, they're not being dramatic. They're stressed. This can happen in situations where they feel cornered or unsure, like meeting a new dog or being in a crowded place. It's their way of assessing the situation before deciding what to do next. Let me share a quick story. My dog Max used to lick his lips and turn his head away whenever my neighbor's overly enthusiastic golden retriever tried to play with him. At first, I thought Max just wasn't in the mood, but then I realized he was showing clear signs of stress. Once I started recognizing those signals, I was able to step in and give him the space he needed, which made a huge difference in his comfort level. Now, here's where it gets controversial. Some experts argue that these subtle signals don't always indicate stress and could simply be normal behavior. For example, yawning might mean your dog is tired, and licking their lips could just mean they're thirsty. But the key here is context. If these behaviors are happening in situations where your dog is likely to feel uneasy, it's worth considering stress as a factor. So, what's the takeaway? Dogs are constantly communicating with us, but we often miss the signals because they're so subtle. Learning to recognize these overlooked signs of stress isn't just about improving your dog's well-being. It's about strengthening your bond and understanding their needs on a deeper level. Now it's your turn. Have you ever noticed your dog showing any of these signs? What do you think they were trying to tell you? Drop your stories in the comments, because the more we share, the better we can all understand our dogs. And if you want to learn more about what your dog is trying to tell you, don't miss our next video. It's a fascinating look at how dogs express emotions in ways we might not even realize.